everyone, and welcome to a very special 1-hour edition of Geeks Not Nerds, the podcast. This is podcast number 50. I'm Captain Logan.
And I am Vince.
And Vince, people asked us things.
Yes.
They asked us, tons of questions.
Inquiring minds want to know.
They want to know, and we are going to let them know.
Right now.
Here we go.
Every question asked, now here's your answer. Bleep.
Really? That's the answer? We're bleeping our answers now?
No, it was just everything crunched down into one long blap.
Wow. That was the best editing job I've ever done. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to answer most of the questions we were asked, assuming we have enough time. We're going to do everything we can do in an hour, and we'll skip a couple here and there, but everybody who asked a question will answer at least one of their questions. Every single one of them. Sorry about that, Vince. And we're saving what we think is the best question for last, and you win nothing, but it will be last. And before we get started, let me say thanks everybody for listening to us, for asking us things. We get lots of great comments all the time. We really appreciate it. It's very cool. We are nearly at 400 subscribers, Vince. I can't believe that.
We're close.
It's really great. And so we just want to say thank you to everyone for watching us, for listening to us, and we will continue to do this as long as we have people watching.
He's Captain Logan, I'm Vince, and we'll see you again next time on Geeks.
The special 1 minute and 32-second podcast of Geeks Not Nerds, the podcast. Okay, here is the first question. I'm just going to start kind of at the bottom of the list and go up. The first question comes from the TC1993, who asks, what's the coolest thing either of you own? Vince, what's the coolest thing you think you own?
It's one item. It's the only thing that exists that is like this. It is a John Belushi face that I made out of clay in middle school. And the reason why I say this...
Coolest thing in your collection is something you made with your own bare hands in middle school?
Because it actually looks like John Belushi. Nobody's seen it and said, that's not John Belushi. They'll say, wow, that looks really good. And I was a little kid when I made it.
I'll look at it and be like, is that supposed to be a Ghostbuster, Vince?
He was.
I have a couple of answers to this. Vince will tell you I have a pretty massive collection of stuff. I think the coolest thing in my mind of what I own is my batleth that I keep getting signed by various Klingons from Star Trek. I've had it signed by, I think, 6 different Klingon actors now, including the guys who played Gowron and Martok, there's 2 Klingons from Star Trek 5, Grilka from Deep Space Nine, and this summer I'm finally going to meet Michael Dorn and get him to sign the batleth, and that will complete the batleth, unless I ever get a chance to meet Christopher Lloyd. Anyway, and the other thing is Fantastic Four number 20. It's probably my favorite comic of my older comics, and I'm not even sure it's the one that's worth the most, but it's up there. It's up there, and it's just neat to have something from that early of the Marvel period.
And here I thought you were going to say Jason.
Yeah, well, he's cool. Speaking of, Jerky Child asks, Captain, how do you feel about being a daddy? Good. No, it's great. It's fun so far. You know, babies don't do a lot, turns out. Like, they lay around, they eat when they're hungry, and they do things that aren't fun to talk about, you know? And so, he's cute though. He's really cute for a newborn, especially. He's really cute.
Yeah, he's lucky. He doesn't look like his daddy.
Yeah, no, it's gonna happen though. It's gonna happen. I'm sure he's also gonna be a lot taller than me because I'm a tiny guy, you know. So anyway, no, Sarah and I are thrilled. It's really fun so far. And for those of you who don't know, I'm actually going to be a stay-at-home dad, believe it or not. This is going to be my full-time job. I have another part-time job, and I have this, which is nearly a full-time job. And but no, I'm going to be a stay-at-home dad, and really looking forward to it. And one of these days, I'll put Jason in a video and let everybody know what he looks like. Vince, have you ever thought about doing more stuff on your own besides Horror Movie Rewind? This is from the same guy.
No.
No, not at all?
Well, there's other things I'd like to do. I'd like to do some stuff.
Guess I'll keep floating this thing, okay.
I'd like to do some stuff involving old movies. I'd like to do some things involving westerns.
Oh, yeah?
And the trouble with it is a lot of things that I'd like to do aren't really considered geeky, per se. So therefore, I don't know if they'd really be welcome on Geekvolution.
This isn't a question from a listener, but I'll ask you this. Have you considered maybe even starting your own channel?
See, I thought about that, but I figured, why? Everything, we need to get as much viewers on one side as we can.
Well, I mean, you know, we like people watching us. This one comes from Duke Loops 1993. I've done a video before with Duke Loops. We talked before. He's a cool guy. Duke Loops asks, what comics would you like to erase from your memory? Oh no, are you gonna say it?
Zorro Matanzas.
Oh yeah.
Because Don McGregor does not know how to write comics. I don't care what he's done. He's done more than one Zorro thing. I'm astonished. I found it the other day in a long box. I saw it there, and I almost cried.
I know you don't have this problem, but Vince, the current Punisher stuff's been driving me crazy.
Oh, Frankencastle?
Frankencastle? I hate Frankencastle.
Well, no,
I'd love it if that never happened. Speaking of killing off characters wrong, I mean, like, you know, DC is doing this whole thing with Blackest Night where they're like, yeah, we know we kill off characters, and Marvel's like, we haven't really figured this out yet. We're just going to keep doing it.
I don't think they killed him off. I think they killed him on because he's still around.
Yeah, I know, but it hurts me. J-Cap, love this guy. He and I talk back and forth all the time. He's neat. He asks a couple things. What do you like more, Dark Knight Returns or Year One? Year One.
Year One, yeah, definitely.
I think it's one of my favorite things from Frank Miller. I like it more than Dark Knight Returns because it's more it's more mainstream Batman. Not mainstream. I think mainstream's a bad thing to say. It's more of Bruce Wayne the way I see Bruce Wayne.
I think Frank Miller was taking Year One and doing something with Batman that was a little more in the line of well thought out as opposed to just trying to make Batman a badass, which is what he did in Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah. And what he's continued to do since then when he's done Batman. I mean, All Star's that way to the extreme, really.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to do a review of All Star in a podcast here pretty soon. And he asks another question: will Grant Morrison's Batman be remembered for being as important to the comics as Frank Miller's work? Now, I don't think you've read any Grant Morrison.
No.
I've read all of R.I.P. I don't think so. I think he's going to be remembered really well. I don't think he'll be up there with Frank Miller, only because he's already being remembered as just being really confusing. I don't think that's fair because you have to read all of his stuff to get it. And then, I mean, then you get it. It's just that it's really complicated. It's really complex. It's a really big body of work. And so I think he'll be remembered fondly, but I think a lot of people, it's over people's heads. And I think a lot of people are going to remember it as that thing I didn't get.
I've never read any Grant Morrison that I recall, but he's done more important things than Rest in Peace, or R.I.P.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure he's done more important things than R.I.P., but...
Oh, he's done better things, I think.
I don't know.
That's...
Okay, Peak Yellow Eater is back, and he says, do you play video games?
Yes.
Yes! Moving on. That was the question. We just answered it. What do you think about Sonic and his tragic history? Yeah, the Sonic games haven't been good since Sonic and Knuckles, and that's true. I don't think Sonic should ever have gone to 3D. A lot of people like the earlier ones, Sonic Adventures. The two Sonic Adventure games, I didn't care for them. I played Sonic Heroes. I tried a couple of other things, and I tried what was it? Shadow the Hedgehog. Didn't like that. It's like a Sonic game with guns. It just bothers me. Anyway, yeah, I think that the problem with the 3D Sonic games is that you can't be fast enough in 3D. Yeah. The side-scrolling allows you to move really fast and still have control over what you're doing. And so, no, Sonic is about to come back to 2D this summer with Sonic 4. I'm really excited about that, and I hope it gets popular enough that they just start doing that again.
And I don't care enough to play any of them, so...
That's why I answered that question, Vince. So no thoughts? Okay. What's the fascination with Joss Whedon? Good question. Really good question, especially for people who don't care for Joss Whedon or haven't watched a lot of him. I think we both say we like Joss Whedon quite a bit.
Yeah.
I would say the fascination with Joss Whedon is that back in the mid to late 90s, he was writing strong female characters in an era when that wasn't real popular, and he made it popular. Mm-hmm. That has a lot to do with the mass fascination of Joss Whedon.
I never thought of that, but you have a point. I just liked his the dialogue. I was kind of a dialogue hound there for a while, and that's the reason I got into Buffy. And because it was a horror comedy that wasn't so much one or the other.
He's also one of the first people to start really killing off characters when you don't expect it. And he's remembered well for doing that too. He's also, unfortunately, and he's kind of infamous for this, for doing romances that never work out, which is not one of the better things with Joss Whedon. But yeah, characters in Joss Whedon universes never make it, ever, as a couple. One of them always dies, or they break up, or whatever, but they never make it. Ever.
Well, good for them. I wish them a happy and long breakup.